We are here back with you, and these are some of the live examples that I think should guide the courage that you need to build that these things are human and are very doable. Anyway, this is a sound bar, Bluetooth, and it stopped charging. So we have two theories, two possibilities. One, the charging port is damaged. Two, the charging IC is disorganized, in which case we may not have a replacement because this is not a thing whose components are brought, saying that their price is a little low and it wouldn't make sense having their replacement parts as a business. Then the third one would be the charging IC is unable to detect the presence of a rechargeable battery. So anyway, let's dive right in and see sorry about that, and see what becomes of it. Right, so I am picking my multimeter and a set of screwdrivers to be prepared for this. Now, the first thing you need to know is figure out how to get inside without causing any damage, and that usually comes as a result of intuition. Having seen or opened more of these devices, you start to know that occasionally screws are concealed under certain things. Okay, perhaps not under that pad, neither that. Now the next thing is, where is it hiding? Or it could be a lock and key mechanism, which I have to just pry it apart. Let me attempt that and see. The resistance I will meet will give me feedback to know that perhaps it's the wrong attempt. Alright, I'm using a knife to get in between there. Okay, I think my intuition serves me right. They put screws and decided to hide them using the top layer. So those are some of the things you observe when you open more and more of these devices. Alright, if you're new here, be certain to hit the like button, which is the thumbs up. Like so. Okay, I guess. Yeah, that comes off. This is just a filter for dust. So now we have to go in there and open those screws. So where is the screwdriver? It uses a Phillips tipped screwdriver. Hope it's long enough to reach the screw. I like to think it is. Alright. I would have loved using my electric screwdriver, but since I'm recording, there is barely any space to accommodate it under the camera. Okay, opening is rather a mundane process, so there's nothing much to see here. Simply forward if you really don't want to hear me babble away throughout the video. That's out. Okay, I guess these guys were a little generous with their screws. I count a total of around 8 screws that need removing, which is rare for this size of speaker. Okay, this one is decided to be a little big-headed. Yeah, so I think I'm going to deliver the content in a manner that I show you some practical things and some theoretical things, and then midway some blend of the two. Yeah, because I know it's very hard to consume all the knowledge at once. There are people who learn how to repair simply by reproducing the steps they observe. Those may benefit from some of the repair examples that I'm doing, basing on the symptom described earlier on. And then two is, if you want to have a high success rate, you need to know the theory and understand how it relates to practical examples. That enables you fix problems you've never seen before, as long as you're able to consolidate the information that you have, or integrate it, or just piece it together and make new deductions. Do I have any surviving screw that hasn't been opened? I hope not. Okay. Now the next stage is for me to pry this side, because I wouldn't have been able to do that with those screws in place, and that comes out. So while here, I think let me take also this opportunity to help you explain something. Now if you look at these speakers alone, they are actually 5-watt speakers and barely have any bass. Now what they do to sort of simulate the effect of bass, they decide to use a damper, that is a damping thing, and then this is tied tight, so as it's sort of like airtight, in that when the speaker diaphragms vibrate to and fro, they are actually compressing and decompressing the air in between, so you tend to have the effect of bass. It's as though you had a bass speaker that had this diaphragm. In that way, you have a passive bass speaker with 2 active stereo speakers also doing both jobs. It's an engineered solution that comes as a result of research, and yeah, it's that. Now we want to access this so as to disconnect anything. So if you look at these rubber things, these normally laying the point at which this plastic we just removed makes contact with this to provide some sort of a seal for the air to not diffuse quickly, but act as a medium to exert a force on that dampener. Need to pick this out. Looks stuck. I need my pliers to. I need my pliers. Okay. Yeah. So. Okay, so we pull that out. Alright, I think I have enough surface area to touch this. But then, I think let me plug in my more pointed soldering iron, because when you look at this, these are relatively smaller components and the solder points are a bit tiny. So you need a soldering iron that is more suited for micro soldering. Right, I think my phone has charged enough. I'm going to disconnect it from power and plug in a soldering iron right there. So then first we unplug the battery before we deal with anything else. Unplug the antenna, unplug each of the 2 speakers, and then we are interested in this. But before we do that, we need to get the voltage reading across the lithium ion battery. That I think that is a 1685.0. Okay, voltage mode at a maximum of 20 volts, because I expect the lithium ion, if fully charged, to be at 4 volts. So 20 is a good enough upper limit of the voltage being measured. That's also another day. Perhaps I'll teach you guys how to use this to get values and troubleshoot, but it will come much later on, after I've introduced you to basic components and their characteristics, so you might know what values to look for and how to use them to deduce whether a component is functional or not. White now. Okay, so we read 3.0. So this battery is close to depleted, and the next stage is we are going to measure the charging port, see if when plugged in, we receive a voltage on the other end that attaches to the motherboard. Alright, now that we've confirmed this, I am going to put it aside. I'm actually going to put it aside and raise its voltage a little using an external charger as we look at the charging port, so as to save time and allow the two processes run concurrently. Alright, so next thing is we are going to look at the charging port itself. So plug in. Even as I plug in, I already sense it's not right. Over I think multiple usage, it has widened. So right now, voltage mode 20% max. I'll take a measurement. First, I can begin with the battery terminals. Okay, I don't receive about 4 point something that is necessary to charge the battery. So let me check at the port itself. Neither do I receive anything. So this is likely a hopeless port. So we're going to desolder it. This time I'm going to use my refuel station, which I don't seem to be seeing. No. Refuel station, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Dun, 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 dun. Huh. Okay, maybe for the sake of keeping the video short. Okay, I'm plugging it into power. Right, switch it on. Temperature 325 C, airflow rate 5. All right. Okay, now I think I should take advantage of my tweezers here to make my life a lot easier. So I am lifting this point mills. It falls under its weight. Unfortunately, I had to explain after it has happened. I had hoped it would take longer. Okay, that's that. Anyway, it's profitable that it takes a short time, because you do not want the surrounding component to reach such high temperatures. This is plastic. It would melt, that would melt, that would melt, and they would be of no service to you if that happens. Anyway, that's the port out. Now I need to confirm that I do not have a short between the positive and the negative terminal of the port. So take it to continuity mode. That would give me a short. Okay, no such a thing. Now I need to source for a donor port. Okay, I hope I have, because lately I have been receiving these cases more and more. Okay, is there a similarity here? A slight similarity, but the mount is a little extended. Okay, let me check with another. How about this? Same situation, but it seems a lot closer. That's the frustration we get with some of these pods. They might look a little alike, but wholly different. is this doing any better job? Okay, the challenge is that these two feel much further apart, but anyway, this is close enough. I'm going to go with that one. Right. I think I need to restock them. And my soldering iron is heating up, and then I think we get to demonstrate soldering. I don't have my suction thing. I looked for it, I did see it, but I'm now just going to blow using my air, using my mouth to push out that solder from the hole into which these mounts lock. These mounts are supposed to help with the pushing and pulling force, so it anchors it down such that the solder points that taking power are not the ones resisting the pushing and pulling force. Now that's how you ensure the pot lasts longer. And I've seen scenarios where Michelins have failed at that because they don't quite comprehend why it's done that way. Alright, we are there. What's the name of your buddy? The big lady yogurt. Don't use discuss for African, yeah. Now, like I demonstrated earlier on in the soldering video, we need flux. Flux improves the workability of the solder, preventing it from oxidizing while you do solder. And where is mine? It's just that. Okay, that's that. So I'm going to apply it there, and then bring my pot down. Otherwise I wanted to apply it also on the terminals of the pot. Does this pin go through? Yes. Is it entering the holes? That's the big question. It's not entering the holes, it's of no help to me. Okay, slightly wide, so I'm going to force it to bend a little inward such that it goes into that point. Alright. Okay. Like that. It's really acting funny. Okay. Let me just zoom in. Right. And come back into it. So apply it. Now we do that. Swap to and fro. Keep that thermometer anchored. The heat here is too much that I need to first rest my finger. If I go for the next, like that, to and fro. Acting more stubborn than I should. Right. Let me first solder the anchor terminals because I'm tired of this thing burning my finger. Right. Soldering wire. Unfortunately, I only see the big one. I wanted the thinner one, the one that is much better for micro soldering. So apply soldering. The idea is that to pass and flow to the other side by adhesion. By cohesion. Okay. And that's that. Now let me come and establish the two. Now the first and last terminals are the ones that are involved in power transmission. The middle three include two, in case of a phone, that are for data positive and negative, and then the third one would be for enabling reverse power supply for functionalities such as OTG. So in this case, the middle three are redundant since this soundbar only needs to get power from this port, nothing more. Alright, now that we've dealt with those extreme two, we're going to apply solder here and there to improve the anchorage and protect us for more adverse pulling and pushing forces. It hurts me that I have to use this very thick piece of solder. It's very hard to control the amount that ends up there. So it requires you to have had some good years under your belt of soldering. Okay. Yep. Alright, solder that point. Yep. Yep. So I am going to hook it up and then measure. So what I'm going to do, because I believe this being a new port, and also being optimistic that the charging IC is fine, I should receive 4 volts at the battery terminals. Now, where's my multimeter? That's a way of testing all the 3 components involved at once. Where's my USB? We plug that in right there, and then change this to voltage mode, maximum of 20. Sorry, and then okay, we get a solid 5. This basically is what comes straight from the charger. Right. Okay. Now, anyway, these things are a bit modular. You might be asking me, what are those components on board? Now we have the main, let me call it microcontroller, the one that does everything, switching from Bluetooth, memory card, blah blah blah, understanding the microphone, which is this. This one is a crystal oscillator. This is usually a timer to allow the processor understand what is communicating and for it to switch in between. Okay, and give it a clock frequency. Now, these two that you see here are the final amplification ICs, and one for each channel, left or right. Yeah, so lately integrated circuits are making life very easy. These are keys, and all that is processed by that. The memory card communicates to that, the USB communicates to that, the aux communicates to that, and this then produces a minimally amplified sound that gets cranked up by hundreds of times by these two final amplification ICs, and all these are surface mount components. That's where the trend is leading to. These fall back, these fall a little behind smartphones and PC motherboards, for they have seen these surface mount devices for over 2 decades already. Alright, anyway, nowadays they're cheaper to produce. I would see now how they are able to be here. Next stage is us assembling. Let's pick our battery that we had decided to raise its voltage a little bit, so that life is made a little easy on us. And it's back here, so let me zoom out. Right, such that everything is in front. How are we going to measure the voltage of the battery? Again, 20, that, and okay, 3.66. That should correspond to roughly 20 or 30%. Actually, for most lithium-ion batteries, 100% is 4.1 volts and 0% is usually 3.3. Anything below that is under 0. Now, if you had smartphones would not even detect the presence of the battery, and you might think your phone is entirely dead. Alright, now we assemble. Simply the reverse of opening, but always be careful not to switch switch plugins, because when you look at these, they are identical. Now these guys were kind enough to indicate for us the antenna, and the antenna is usually just one wire. A lane that whatever protrusion to that groove, and that goes in to antenna. Speaker. So speaker, since speakers ideally are identical, doesn't matter. But then since I've written left, let me just try to trace which one goes to the left. Ideally that would be, I don't know whether this is left of me or left of the speaker, but let me think it's the left of the speaker, in which case left of the speaker would be this, and right of the speaker would be that. So which cable is it? Okay, this is for right, and this should come right in there. Then this other remaining one into that. Battery should always be plugged in last, because you don't want to plug in other components in the wrong place and supply power. That could end in disaster. It could be the difference between you restoring a device and rendering it vegetable. Okay, plug that in. Now we push it back in there. You might ask me, why aren't you first? Okay, that's not the right orientation. This is, so every time you're doing something and you're meeting a lot of resistance, you're likely doing it the wrong way. So pause a bit, reassess the situation, and attempt again. So I need to fold that in and then bring this so that they move together to the under. Battery cable has other ideas, but we shall manage it. Alright, so we are there. Now remember, we said we want this thing to be or have a semblance of air tightness, so these pads, we need to bring them back right there to offer some sort of a seal. Right, this piece decided to tangle itself, nonetheless it won't survive us. There, and that. Now we bring the back and put it together. This tuna lane. Oh, okay. Shouldn't have that strap. It also plays the role of restraining the strap from pulling out. Right. Cover that. Now we screw. Empty, occupied, empty. Or let us actually plug it in with the battery in and see if we have the charging light indicate. Usually that dot is for the charging light, so if you get it, nice and green. So we are done with this one, and just like that, you've earned a coin or a penny. You have flu. Hey, you didn't tell me I wear my mask. Nathan Ronzi said. Nathan, no. I don't like flu. Okay, so put that in. I like to put all of them together and then start screwing at once. Okay, so that screwdriver has again hidden like is. We close it. While closing it, take that. Recording in portrait. Not nice. But anyway, it is what it is.
So you don't have to slow down here.
Yeah?
Like when you're putting in import, you just rub on the other one.
You just put the solder on the tip of the charging port, also of the solder. So as you're rubbing it with flux around, so it goes off the tip to the thing because it's the tiny component. Yeah, so it's something learned by experience. You put it off solder at the tip, not on the thing. That's some sort of an exception. But you could do it also the other way, but it's disturbing. Why you keep rubbing is want that terminal to be absorbing heat, as it also picks solder from the tip. I'm impressed you observed. So that's the beauty of doing things hand-on. You see, and then the general rules that works for 80% of things. Then there's when now you come to, but now you feel still at the level of what? Components. Well, no, I'm actually looking for an extra screw. Yeah, so but that comes with understanding. Most people don't know it, but there was actually already a screw there. So that's where it makes the difference. One will solder the pot and it fails quickly, and another will. So you see those areas where it anchors, where there's big contact points. There you put the solder and the what? You put the tip and then apply the solder onto the tip while it is touching the point you want to solder it to. Right, we now bring the front face and cover it up. Yep, thanks for watching. Subscribe and do share. Hit the like button. Let me turn it on so that you can hear that it works.
Bluetooth mode.
We are there. Put it to
FM
radio.
mode.
Radio. Alright. So see you in the next
Bluetooth
video.
mode.
Thank you.